Hello everyone, PSLE is just around the corner, and I'm sure all of you have been doing your past PSLE papers, and I'm sure you've come across this particular question. Now, this is a very popular question that will appear in your PSLE papers, and that's because it involves a lot of different topics altogether.
So, what are the topics that's involved in this very particular question is that you need to know about your matter of state. Okay, also you need to know about heat. How heat affects your matter of state, in particular relation to water. Okay, so you know that water has three states. Yes, we have the solid state, we have the liquid state, as well as the gaseous state. And with this, how each state transforms from one to the other, there is a particular process that it must go through. So from a solid to liquid state, this is known as melting. From a liquid to gas, it is evaporation. And from a gas to liquid is condensation. And from a liquid to a solid would be freezing. But this question particularly focuses on this portion of the change of state, your evaporation and condensation. So what we'll be looking at is, you have to remember that for evaporation, it is a heat gain process, whereas condensation is a heat loss process. So knowing all this would help you to answer this particular question about spectacles became foggy when he breathed out of his mask. Okay, so what happens is that you need to understand that at this point is that when people breathe out, okay, you need to also know and remember that through exchange of gases, okay, we will also breathe out water vapor. Okay, and you need to remember that water vapor is a gas, it's in a gaseous state. So what happens is that your water vapor will escape through the top of the mask and then comes into contact with the lenses of the glasses. Now you need to remember that the lenses of the glasses is at a cool temperature, or rather cooler temperature than your water vapor that you have breathed out. Okay, so in such case, what happens is that the water vapor will then lose, okay, it will lose heat, and since there's a heat loss, it will condense from a gas to a liquid, therefore forming what we call the fog on the glasses. So if you really want to answer this question proper, there are a few keywords that you really have to know and make sure that you include it in your answers to get all the marks that you can get. Okay, so the first thing that you really want to talk about is that you have to explain that it is a warm water vapor. Okay, you need to say the word warm. Okay, warm water vapor, this will help to show that you understand about heat. Okay, your warm water vapor will come into contact with the cooler surface, okay, of the lenses. When you mention the word cooler, it also helps them to understand that you know the concept of heat transfer. Okay, again, heat, because we know that heat at this point is always from a hotter region to cooler region. Okay, so with this, once you're done with this, is the first thing that you have to tell them: warm water vapor to a cooler surface. Okay, once this happens, you then have to tell me that the water vapor loses heat. Okay, now the next point that I'm going to mention is very, very important, where most students tend to forget to include this in their answer, is that you have to tell me where the heat goes to. So you just can't say that water vapor loses heat. You have to tell me that water vapor loses heat to the cooler surface. Okay, or in this case, which is the lens. And then you have to tell them that it condenses, where you state the process of your gas changing to liquid, okay, and then into water droplets. Now, please do not belittle these two words that I'm going to highlight for you, because when you use the word water vapor, it shows them that you understand that it is in a state of a gas. And then when you use the word water droplets, it showcases to them that you know that it has changed from a gas to a liquid. Okay, from here, then you can carry on to say that, oh, that's what causes it to fog. Okay, so that's all for this question, and I hope that you can finally now understand what the key points are and what the keywords that is needed to properly answer this question.